Access control levels, or ACL in Joomla, is actually really good. But it's not something that you should tackle unless you do a little bit of research and a whole lot of planning. Now, out of the box, Joomla's ACL works really well if you are the only administrator of your site and you don't have users coming onto your site that need special permissions. If that's your scenario, then you're good to go right now. But you should probably watch these videos to understand what ACL is anyway, just in case that ever changes. You want to break this down into two separate things: what users can see and what users can do. And ACL manages both of those. In Joomla's access control, then, we have user groups and access levels. You can have unlimited numbers of groups, and you can have unlimited numbers of users in groups, and users can be in more than one group. You have unlimited user-defined access levels as well. And an access level determines what a user can see and do. Groups are assigned to access levels, so any combination of groups can be assigned to any access level. Now, that's probably a little bit confusing, so let me just explain it this way. Once again, ACL controls what a user can see and what a user can do, and that's managed by the group they're in and the access level that that group has. It's as simple as that. Now, out of the box, Joomla 3 comes with 5 access levels: guest, public, registered, special, and super user. You should only have 1 or 2 super users on your site because they have access to absolutely everything, including global configuration, which is something you don't want anyone having access to that shouldn't. Let's talk about controlling what a user can see. The first step is to create a set of access levels according to the categories or combination of categories that you only want logged in users to see. Then you create a group with the registered as a parent for each access level, using the same names for the user groups as the access levels is a really good idea at this point. Step 3 is to edit your new access levels and assign the correct user groups to each one. And you probably want to assign the super user group to all of them. And then finally, assign each item to be viewed to one access level. For instance, articles, contacts, menu items, and modules. So when a user is logged in, Joomla knows what they have access to based on the groups that the user belongs to. If a group has a parent group, access levels for that parent group are also included on the list. Then Joomla checks whether the access level for the item the person wants to see is on that list, and if yes, the item is displayed to the user. So that's controlling what people can see. Controlling what users can do is also managed through ACL. This is set up with the Permissions tab of the Global Configuration and the Permissions tab of the option screens of each component. They can also be set up at the category level for core components and the article level for articles. And what that means is you can be incredibly specific about what a user can do on your site. For instance, if you have a summer intern who's only allowed to update certain categories of articles, not a problem. The first step is to create a user group with the parent as one of the user groups that has access to that category or categories. Number 2, assign the new user group to the appropriate access level. And number 3, you should only create a user group with one of the default user groups as parent if none of them have the exact permissions you need and you want all categories. So we're going to go over all of these in the following video, setting up an example for each. Finally, as we look at access control lists in Joomla, we need to talk about inheritance. Each permission is inherited from the one above it. So here in global configuration, if I click on guest, you'll see that nothing is allowed and everything is inherited from the one above it. When I click on Registered, you'll notice that site login is now allowed, which means that author, editor, and publisher will automatically have site login because it's inherited, and then we add permissions based on this new access level. So editor will automatically inherit all of those other permissions from the author, as well as have other access allowed, i.e. to edit in this case. The publisher inherits all of the access control from the one above it, and then has its own permissions allowed or disallowed. And of course, super users inherit everything and have super user allowed. So inheritance is really critical in Joomla as well. These are some things that you'll want to definitely plan out ahead of time. There are some extensions that will help you here. I'll mention those at the end.